I think it is. If it was India has risen, that would be a bad title. But India Rising is a very good title because I think India has a long way to go yet. Yeah. And what I meant was that for the rest of the world, they really care a lot about the size of the Indian economy. You know, for Indians, of course, what really matters much more is the quality of living, standards of living, and that actually depends a lot on the per capita income of a country. And I think that was the distinction I was trying to make, that the GDP matters a lot to outsiders. GDP per capita matters a lot to Indians, you know? And so I think that then to say, India rising, it's a very good way to put it because India's per capita income is around 2,000, 2,500. We don't want it to stop there. We want it to become 25,000, even more, So for that, I think India has to do quite a few things. The other thing, I guess the part that you might have missed is that I did mention that we talk about India rising, or there's also a lot of interest in India because India's GDP growth rate is going up, or is the highest. I guess it's the highest among any major economy right now. So it's around 6% per year. That is an achievement. That's a great thing, And so we sort of what we talk about is potential. India's potential growth rate is 6%. So India has to hit that. So I think some of the things that it has to do is to make sure that we meet our potential. The second thing that we have to do is try to sort of increase our potential to actually go not just 6% a year, but to 7, 8% a year. And the distinction I would make is that India actually can take some actions. India can make it easier for private investors. India can make it easier for workers, especially women workers, to actually both contribute to this economy. And India can do more in terms of making the Indian economy more efficient. Those things would lead. I think that India can get to around 7% with that. Getting to 8%, which is where India should be, because for India to become a high-income economy by 2050 or 2047, so India needs to grow at around 8%. For that, India needs luck. India needs luck in the sense because some of these things actually depend on things that are happening outside of India. So if the rest of the world economy does well during this time, India will do well too. Otherwise, India will have a hard time growing at 6, 7% when the rest of the world is not doing well. So the one, I guess what you're saying is that the price of necessities is going up.
Yeah.
Right? It's gone up everywhere in the world, not just in India, right? So one has to sort of keep that in mind. The second thing you have to keep in mind is that if you look at the price, that the inflation rate of those things in India as compared to others actually has been much more moderate in India as compared to others. The Indian, I think that the Indian monetary authorities, the RBI and so on, have managed monetary policy very well, actually. And not just India, by the way. A lot of larger middle-income economies have actually done this rather well because they've been tested in previous crises and so on. And as a result, they actually responded to this crisis much better. So when they started to see inflationary pressures and so on, they actually moved quicker than advanced economy central banks. And as a result, they didn't let inflationary expectations take root.
Right.
India is the same thing. Now, in general, though, if you sort of look at these prices and so on, again, it comes down. Then it comes down. Once you take monetary policy out, then it comes down to demand and supply. And there the question is, of course, you want to increase the production of these things, right? You want to make sure that the other part of it is, of course, the distribution of these things is very important. So on the production side, you do need to make the agricultural economy more efficient in India. You do need to give much